Time for one question for each game. 8 games we're going to be covering today. Cincinnati at Dallas. Who is the best Cowboys player in this game?
Best or safest?
Best.
Best is CeeDee Lamb. Safest is Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, best is CeeDee Lamb. Best relative to position is Dalton Schultz.
Colts Jaguars. I kind of already asked you this. I'll ask you it again. Are you starting a Jaguars running back in this game?
I would lean Etienne in PPR. I would lean Robinson in the other formats, and I would think I have them both ranked in those respective formats as low-end starters / flex.
I'd prefer not to, but Robinson in both.
Arizona at Las Vegas. Starter sit Josh Jacobs.
I think you could start him. This Arizona defense is not very good right now. And so, he's not going to help you very much in the passing game, I don't think, based on what we saw last week. But maybe Brandon Bolden being out changes that a little bit. Or if he's out, Bolden's banged up. So I don't think it's like a slam dunk. You have to start Josh Jacobs, but he's ranked for me as a starter.
Loved the fact that Zamir White wasn't really a thing. So, yeah, I'll start him one more week.
You start Josh Jacobs over James Robinson?
I would.
Yes, over both Jaguars running backs.
And over Zeke, obviously.
Yep.
Yes. I would start him over David Montgomery, too.
Yeah, Arizona, it's so early, and they played the Chiefs. But they weren't a very good defense last year. The personnel isn't that great. I mean, they might be the matchup this year.
They could be bottom 10 for sure.
Yeah, they could really stink. They are a little
I would,
and J.J. Watt could play this week.
I would not be surprised if Cliff Kingsbury's fired during the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Miami at Baltimore. Who do you like better, Chase Edmonds or Rashad Bateman? Or you know what? I'll throw Dobbins in there since he practiced in full. Edmonds, Dobbins, Bateman. Who's the best start?
Edmonds for me. And if you're, looking at it, I'm obviously volume had a lot to do with it, but my goodness, the Jets running backs were just catching passes all over the place last week.
Yeah, Edmonds.
Yeah, I think that was something the Ravens struggled with last year, too. I think they gave up something like the 8th most receiving yards per game to running backs, and it showed up in week 1. It's funny. Like, I'm really excited about that game. We got a ton of talent, but a little just kind of nervous about so many of the players in that game. How many confident starts are there? There's 3, Jackson, Hill, and Andrews. Is it Waddle a confident start?
I think you're starting both Dolphins receivers and Andrews, and that's probably it from a must-start standpoint.
Jack and Lamar.
Well, I'm saying the skill players, yes. Lamar's the must-start.
All right, Jets at Cleveland. Who's the best flex option? Michael Carter, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, or Elijah Moore?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Yeah, who's the best flex option? I'll give you a lot of names. Michael Carter, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, or Elijah Moore?
Carter.
Oh, Kareem Hunt.
Carter for Heath, Kareem Hunt for Jamie. Okay. Are you guys, do you have the other running back second?
He's well on his way to making you shave your eyebrows.
What did he have? 4 catches?
That's right. That's all you got to do.
Carries? Yeah, I was going to bring this up later, but he had 15 touches, and they had the ball for almost 39 minutes. So I didn't know if that was encouraging.
He used that again this week.
Probably, yeah. All right, Houston at Denver. Are you concerned about Brandon Cooks?
No.
A little bit, but not to bench him, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. Do you think he's going to get shadowed? He played in the slot a pretty decent amount, unlike DK Metcalf, right? So DK Metcalf got shadowed by Pat Surtain. Surtain's the man, Sir Man. And Cooks is a different receiver than Metcalf, but he played in the slot more than Metcalf did, so that's usually a good thing. You don't really get shadowed when you move into the slot. But if you told me he was going to get shadowed by Patrick Surtain, I'd say sit Brandon Cooks like 100%. But maybe you guys wouldn't. But do you think that's going to happen?
No.
I don't think it's going to be like what happened last week. Most of the time when you ask guys that shadow players in today's game what kind of receivers they like to play, they love the bigger physical guys because they're just easier to deal with. And I know it sounds funny, but you know where they are. Like they're easier targets. And so Cooks is not that type of guy. But it wouldn't surprise me if Surtan's on him more times than not. So take that into account. But I mean, you see where we have him ranked. If you're watching on YouTube, it was top 15 for all three of us. So you got to have really just a stacked receiving core to bench Brandon Cooks.
I think that one thing I noticed just looking at Cook's targets from last week is they were really creative with like designing ways to get the ball into his hands on wide receiver screens and stuff like that. So I don't think they know who their best offensive player is.
Yeah, he had 12 targets or 13 or something, and Burkhead had, I don't know, 8 or something, and nobody else had more than 3 or 4. It was just basically all Brandon Cooks and a little bit of Burkhead. Plus, Justin Simmons being out certainly makes this an easier matchup. New England and Pittsburgh. Is there anyone that you love in this game? Anyone you love in the Patriots-Steelers game?
I love Matt Patricia for the Steelers DST. Nobody that I love. I mean, I'm starting Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris, but you know what? I love Pat Freiermuth. I hope what we saw last week sign things come. Tough matchup.
That's the thing. The Patriots are always so good against tight ends.
Yeah, but you know what though? I mean, when you look at the tight ends this week, if you want to get creative and start Gerald Everett or Tyler Higbee over Freiermuth, I certainly understand. That's fine. But it's just, I think this is going to end up being a really go-to option for Trubisky. We may have, I don't want to say overlooked it because we all had Freiermuth ranked relatively as a starter, whether it was somewhere between 10 and 13, 14, 15. But oh my gosh, look at George Pickens and Chase Claypool in the slot, and obviously Deontay. It might just be Deontay and Freiermuth, based on what we saw last week and how things go.
I think I love Deontay the most.
And Tennessee Buffalo. Do you like Devin Singletary this week?
No.
Okay.
No.
Any bonus question? Any hesitation with Derrick Henry, who
No.
has not run very well against the Bills except for a 76-yard touchdown run. But he's had 4 games against the Bills, and he's rushed for 56, 78, 57, and 143 yards. And he basically had one huge run, and the Bills have done a great job against Derrick Henry.
He's got to score. He's got to score because he's not catching 4 or 5 passes in this game. He might get 2 or 3. But this game feels like it could get ugly. I think we were talking off the air about the spread for the Bills and being a 10-point favorite. The Titans are another team that makes me a little nervous. Not to the Cardinals level, but they may not be close to what they were a year ago. And losing Landry on defense, offensive line's a concern, the receiving core is a concern. It's not going to be easy for Derrick Henry in some of these tougher matchups.
This is kind of a similar one to the Colts and Jags too, right? Like the Titans have kind of whooped the Bills the last couple of times they've faced each other.
Yeah, they won 2 straight. And I think one of them was very close. Remember that game that it was like a Wednesday night game or something, or Tuesday night game? I think it was a very close game if I recall. But they've won 2 straight. They lost the 2 previous. They're 2-2 the last 4 meetings in recent years.